Finally, we come to the last leg here, the internet. So it turns out that these older technologies were pretty good. They were a lot faster than some of these technologies over here that used a lot of analog data in the middle, but they just weren't as fast as we can get on the internet today. But the problem is the internet, which means it's public. And so the way we get around that is to use VPNs, or virtual private networks. Now, virtual private networks are typically the way that we get around today from point A to point B through a Okay, finally the last leg here. We've talked about dedicated lines, we've talked about switched lines over the phone system, packet switched lines, which usually were run by the phone company in most cases, later on by ISPs, and now the internet. So the internet has become fast enough that these technologies over here, the frame relay, X25, ATM, don't really, well, they just aren't as fast as the internet. And so why use them? And they've pretty much gone out of style. So today we typically use VPNs, or virtual private networks. Let's go down here to that section and take a look at what we have. VPN is the most popular today way of getting from point A to point B across the world, or across the country, or however you want to, however far you want to get. However, it is public. And so there is a security issue because by its very definition, the internet is a public network. So what do? Well, we encrypt the data, and what we do is create what we call a virtual tunnel. And that tunnel is nothing more than just encryption. And we call it a tunnel just because it's a nice visual, but there's nothing tunnelish about it. It's just encryption. The most typical encryption type that we use is IPsec. Now there are others. There are other transport. These, by the way, IPsec is one of the what we would call a transport encryption protocol. There's SSL, SSH, TLS. So there are other types of transport protocols. These in turn use other protocols, the actual algorithms for encryption inside of them. So IPsec is the most common one today, and becoming even more common with IP version 6. It uses under the hood AES, triple DES, Cha-Cha cipher system. So these are the actual algorithms that it can use in order to authenticate and then encrypt the data that goes across the internet, so that we can have a private network no matter how far we want to go.